Everybody's fine. We are in Turkey having the third day of celebrations of Maha Lakshmi. And we had third day. Since Friday, we had yagnas, 4 yagnas we had already. Kirtans, Abhishek and Sri Yantra Puja. We had a lot of events and storytellings, and you were closing this beautiful day, and we also invited our friends from Greece, from Albania. I'm not sure if the Albanians accepted this lovely invitation to give some stories about the Divine Mother. And as I said, it's important days for us here. We've been feeling the presence of the Divine Mother very strongly with us. And I also want to say that Bhakti Marga, Guruji wants us to follow a tradition of donation, and it is just a matter of treasure what you receive. And so I'm going to share the link here because he's doing this from his heart, and I think if you got some good message from here, you can contribute. It doesn't have to be big, can be very small, whatever comes from your heart, it is welcome. Okay, so I go there.
Okay. So, Shamala, I sent you a little picture of the Ashtalakshmi. And I might refer to this picture in the Satsang. So I was wondering if you could share this picture with the participants on the call. So you see this little picture of Ashtalakshmi I sent to you via Telegram, Shamala. If you could forward that.
Okay, I will forward to Bhuvaneshwari. She's controlling, and then she can publish it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Swamiji, can we record your satsang? Is it possible?
Yes, it's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a start. Om. Agnarantimarandasya gnananjana shalakaya chakshurunvelitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishupanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Ya Kandendu Tasharahara Davala, Ya Shubhra Vastra Vrita, Ya Vina Varadandamantita Ya Shveta Padmasana, Ya Brahmachutta Shankara Pripritibir, Deve Sada Vandita, Samam Bhatos.
Sabiha has her microphone unmuted. The sound is coming from there. Could you control Bhuvaneshwari? There are some microphones. Thanks.
So just curious quickly, for the translation, is it like I say something, then the translator, or is it simultaneous?
No. It's simultaneous. They have sent the Google link, and the Greeks and Turks are already translating simultaneously.
Okay, cool.
And that image sent in chat, Swami, is it okay for you?
Yep. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, it was a lovely day today to be able to spend the day basically with Mahalakshmi. It's really cool. And maybe I'll just give a little bit of context. I came to live with Guruji back in 2007. He asked me to come and live in Germany. Otherwise, I would have never decided to come and live in Germany. But to come and live with Guruji, yes. So I started in the old ashram, and I wasn't there for very long, for about a year. And then we moved to this place, Sri Pitanalaya. And back in 2010, in, I think it was February or March 2010, Guruji decided to make a prayer. It was a 9-day prayer for Mahalakshmi. And it was on the 3rd day that Mahalakshmi actually gave the name for this ashram, Sri Pitanalaya. So it was the name that she gave for the place that she resides. Sri is a name for Mahalakshmi. So there's a difference between Mahalakshmi and Lakshmi. You have to understand that in each universe you have the Holy Trinity. You have Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and they have their various Shaktis. So in each universe you have Lakshmi, but the highest cosmic form of the Divine Mother, which is Mahalakshmi, she resides in Vaikuntha, and she's together with Narayana, like overseeing absolutely everything, all of the universes, all manifestation on all levels. So they have the combined role where Narayana is his will, whatever he wants to have manifested. She is the counterpart of him that is manifesting that will. So whatever he wants, whenever he wants, wherever he wants something to be manifested and to brought into being, she, through her power, makes that happen. So you cannot really separate them. Where is God not? Tell me. Is God not in the Bahamas? Is God not in Mount Kailash? Is God not in Greece or Turkey? It's like, it's everywhere. And of course, for all of this to become made manifest, for everything to come into being, to unfold the way that God has intended it to be, requires that creative power of the Divine Mother. So you can't separate the two. It's not like, Narayana is sitting up here and Lakshmi sitting over here. That in that aspect, yes, but in a very subtle sense, they're both present equally in all lokas, in all places, in all universes. So the Divine Mother is, you're part of her. Literally, you're part of her. It's like a fish swimming in the sea, looking for the ocean. It's looking always where. I've heard the ocean's amazing. Where is it? And it's just swimming through the ocean day after day. We're looking for the Divine Mother, and yet we are centered in her. We are part of her. So the relationship of the Divine Mother is, it's actually something that has been unraveling, let's say, over years. And I think when I was still living in London, Swami Karuna, she used to be called Teresa Hale then. She had a healing clinic called the Hale Clinic. And most of the devotees of Guruji actually went to Germany. And so they left me there to do the puja on Friday. And on Friday we had to do this abhishekam to this little copper Sri Yantra. It's not very big. And it was the first time. I was super excited. I was like, wow. I used to love, I don't know why, but I just love doing pujas. I love the smell of the incense, ringing the bell, offering the arati lamp. I thought this was amazing, to offer some flower petals. So it was my first time to do abhishekam to this copper Sri Yantra. And it was just me. There was nobody else there. Nobody else turned up for the Friday prayer. So I was just pouring the water and pouring the elements over this little copper Sri Yantra. And this field of light appeared in front of me. It was really it was super peaceful. It was really, really, tranquil, but very, very beautiful. It was like pinky white, and it was just there. And when I was pouring the Panchamrit over the Sri Yantra, I was thinking, wow, this is really amazing. Does this happen every time? So I was thinking, well, this is pretty cool. Obviously, well, as far as I perceive it, it doesn't happen every time. Maybe that was beginner's luck. I think that was Maha just saying, hi, I'm here. By the way, we've got a relationship. Do you remember? Maybe you don't. But anyway, it's gonna be a long-term relationship. So in 2010, it was about, I guess it was 3 years later, Guruji actually asked me then, after we had that 9-day ceremony for Maha Lakshmi, and on the 3rd day, Maha Lakshmi actually appeared. I'll share that story in a minute. But after that, he asked me to do puja every day after that for her. And so I've been doing puja every day since then, basically, to her. She's my Ishtadev, and she's been very kind and merciful. And yeah, it's been a really nice journey all these years. So yeah. So what happened during that 9 days? Well, obviously, she wanted it to be known that this is her place where she resides. And a lot of people have been here. They have experienced the Divine Mother in her different aspects. I know a lot of people who have come for Navaratri, and they were sleeping in their room and they woke up and they saw Kali. And they were shocked. They just screamed a little, not too much. But the Mother is present here, and everybody who comes here is blessed to be in her presence. And she works with the people to purify, to cleanse them. It's not just Guruji who's doing that work, but she's also doing the work on the people too, because it's like a garden. She's cultivating each one of us to be able to have a closer relationship with the ultimate, the supreme, which is Narayan. Also the manifested form of Narayan that we all know as Guruji. So in this way, I'll talk about it when I talk about the Ashtalakshmi, like the relationships that we have with the Divine Mother. Some of us need a very strong mother, isn't it, to keep you in your place. Some prefer a mother who's very, very like soft and gentle and loving. It's very different for each person. Yeah. So anyway, during that 9 days, it was on the 3rd day, Guruji was in the what's now the shop. Actually, it used to be the old temple. It was a small little temple that we had, and we had the altar in the corner of the room, and we had this murti called a Dhanakarshana. So in the file that I sent around, it's as you can see probably, see this Dana Lakshmi. She's the one that's got the money coming out of her hand. So we have a little murti. Cool. She's just going to share it. That's it. So it's the one in the middle, at the bottom. She's manifesting golden coins, and they're coming out of her hand and going into the dish down below. So this is Dana, is symbolizing this material wealth. Actually, most people experience material wealth as being related to money, because money buys a lot of things you need for material survival. So we still have that murti of Dana Karshana. Dana means wealth, and Akarshana means attracting. So she's the aspect of Lakshmi which attracts wealth into our lives. And Guruji would always want me to do Lakshmi Kubera Puja. Kubera is the banker of the gods. Lakshmi manifests that wealth, that material wealth, and Kubera keeps it. So he's the banker of the gods, and when the gods need a loan, he will loan out some money. And I don't know what his interest rates are. I think they could be quite high. So I've heard. So don't take a loan from Kubera. So anyway, this murti of Dana Karshana, it's about this big. It's not very big. And this was the murti that Guruji was doing the puja to for the first 3 days. And then after this, he was explaining, this ashram is now called Sri Pita Nilaya. This is the name that she's given to the ashram. When Guruji was standing there, he was standing in front of the altar, and the murti of Guruji was just to the side of him here, over here like this, but on the altar, a little bit lower. And when he was talking and he was saying this, after this, I could see her standing in the deity, in the murti itself. She was standing just behind Guruji, just to his right. And then what happens, there was lots of lights beginning to emit themselves from her body. And these lights started like just flooding out into the room. Sapphire, pink, gold, diamond, rubies, emeralds. It was like this spiritual wealth, literally. And it was just like flooding out into the room, into the temple. And so this divine abundance that she is was just flowing from her. And I just smiled. Literally, I had a smile bigger than the Joker. It went literally from one ear to the other. And I looked to the left and I looked to the right, and also the people like really, really smiling. And I was thinking, is it just me that feels this happiness, or is it others? And it was an incredible feeling of such an amazing happiness without any reason, really. It's like, and many times during puja, when she comes very, very close, I know other people that when they've been in the presence of the Divine Mother, they felt an incredible happiness, but they couldn't explain why. They just felt extremely happy. And many times when people feel that, it's because when the deity actually comes and they're very close, spiritually, they're standing very close to the person, that effulgence, that radiation that comes from them, it's so uplifting. Automatically you start feeling that radiation that comes from that. It's just joy. It's an incredible happiness, and you start feeling happiness for no reason. You might not see them standing there, but you feel inside of you this incredible happiness. So something's changed for some reason. But often when puja was being conducted, she would come and be spiritually present there, and I would experience that incredible happiness. So this was a great blessing from her quite a few times. So that was one of my first experiences with her, let's say, back in 2010. And we used to do every Friday. It was traditional. Actually, before in Stephanshof, it was traditional that we would always do a special puja for Maha Lakshmi on Friday. So what would happen was that Guruji would have the prasad brought in. They would do the puja to Maha Lakshmi. It's called the Lakshmi Vrat, which is a standard kind of like puja for Maha Lakshmi. They would have like a banana plant, because banana plant represents Lakshmi. Maybe you can see here, Danya Lakshmi is holding a banana plant. And this is one of her manifestations, the banana plant. So we do the puja to Lakshmi, a little Shri Yantra. We put some kumkum over her. We'd say a few mantras. Then we put the kumkum chandan on the banana plant, a bit of dupam, deepam, a little prasad. It was very basic in those days. And then everybody was told to leave the temple. So everybody would leave, would close the doors. And one of the doors you've got doors on both sides of the old ashram. But Guruji, what he would do, there was curtains, and he would look through the curtains inside into the temple. He was standing outside, and he would watch Lakshmi come in, and she would take her prasad, she would eat her prasad, and then she would go around and she would bless all of the deities in the temple. She would just go around blessing everything. And I saw this a number of times. Like, we would all leave the temple on Fridays, and then Guruji would stand outside, and he was just looking at her, like walking around in the temple, blessing everything. We couldn't see anything, but obviously he could. And then he'd say, okay, let's go and have some dinner. So this was a interesting experience, like from when I moved from London to Germany, and to see Guruji watching Divine Mother walking around the temple. So every Friday it was traditional that we would do the prayer to Mahalakshmi, and this Dhanakashana Lakshmi, it's the same murti that we still have now. In the temple here, we have the big black murti, and right in front of it, we have a smaller one, which is that size, Dhanakashana. Every Friday, when I would do the puja, the abhishekam, often when I would pour the elements over her, she would come and stand in the murti. So just imagine you have your deity in front of you, and when you're pouring the panchamrit or the water over the deity, because the deity is spiritually standing in the murti, it's like you're literally pouring the elements on the feet of the deity. So she would often come and stand there and receive the blessing. Now, what would happen? You see, this is the beautiful thing about Archana Bhakti, actually. You don't have to do much. It's a great blessing. It's a great grace, because even the people that will come for the prayer, it was funny because often we have residents coming for the prayer, and it's, it's in winter time, you have to drag yourself out of bed, you get to prayer in the morning, 7 o'clock. And because you're not actively doing anything, you're not a musician, or you sit there, you clap for a little bit, and then you fall off to sleep. So in those days, we used to have a much smaller and a lot less people. So as I was pouring the elements over the deity, Ma would bring down a stream of energy down through the deity, and it would shoot out into the temple, and it would go into all the people who are present, who are sitting there. And a bit like Om chanting, actually. And then all the negativity of the people would be drawn back in to her. So whenever the prayer is taking place, when you have the deity and you have yourself, there's always a stream of a connection, energetic connection between you. So even if the people are in the temple and they're fast asleep, they're still being purified, because there's this flow of grace that's taking place. So when you offer the elements to the deity, they're purifying all the 5 elements of the body, which is having an impact on your consciousness as well, because the consciousness is very attached to the senses, which are connected to the 5 elements. So she would bring through the stream of energy, it would go down through the murti, and it would go out to all the people. And then the negativity would come back in for transformation. So this is what happens all the time. It's not just for Mahalakshmi, it's happened all the time for all the deities. But when we have events and we had more people in the temple, this flow of energy would be even stronger, because there was more work to do. So this happens all the time. This is not something new. It's one of the ways in which the deity is always serving the people. Yeah. So I was thinking I would go through this Ashtalakshmi, the 8 forms of Mahalakshmi, and just throw in a few stories or experiences, and yeah. So just whatever comes to mind, we'll cover. Let's have a look. So we'll start with Aishwarya Lakshmi, the one down in the bottom right-hand corner. She's wearing white because she's got this connection with Saraswati Devi. Now, Maha Saraswati is another wife of Lord Narayana, and she's actually another aspect, a facet of Mahalakshmi herself. So this is why she's often shown wearing white. And she's the goddess of course, because she's also got this strong connection with Saraswati Devi, she is the goddess of learning, of wisdom. Yeah. So she's also, let's say, known as, in some parts of India, you have the same 8 Ashtalakshmis, and in other parts of India, it's slightly different. So you might find, like, when you get a picture of the Ashtalakshmi, in some pictures, they are one type, and another picture, they're another type. there aren't 8 forms of Mahalakshmi. There's only one. But the way that she intercedes, the way that she helps and supports all the devotees, all the souls who are in the myriad of universes, the way that she helps is in, let's say, eight main different ways. There's actually 16 main aspects, but most of the time you see the 8, the Ashtalakshmi. So this is one of the 8 aspects, Aishwaraya Lakshmi. And she's also known as Vidya Lakshmi. Translator, if I'm going too fast, you just let me know. Okay. So Vidya means knowledge. And this is the first aspect that I wanted to share with you, because a lot of people in life, they don't know why they're here. They don't know for what purpose they're here. Why am I here in this body? Why am I here on this earth? Why am I doing what I'm doing? It makes no sense. And so the most important thing is about understanding what we're here for. What is the purpose of life? And Vidya, which is knowledge, it means that she's the aspect of the Divine Mother that imparts that knowledge. For what reason are you here? And so when Guruji was talking a number of years ago, he was talking in the Lakshmi Yagna, he was saying, when you pick up the Gita and you read the Gita, he says there's no difference between the Gita and Mahalakshmi herself. Why? Because this spiritual knowledge, the spiritual wealth that comes in the form of that knowledge is the Gita itself. You cannot separate Mahalakshmi and the knowledge of the Gita. The Gita is one and the same thing. So as we read the Gita, we begin to become aware of the purpose of life and how to attain that purpose of life. And this is very, very important, because this knowledge is the basis. It becomes the foundation of our destination that we're trying to attain. We understand what that destination is, and we understand in which way Ma can help us. And so this one, I'm going to go through these 8 aspects, because you see, she is one, but you see perhaps in some ways in which way she is able to help and she's able to support. So this platform of knowledge which we'll move from is very, very important. And what she does is when one goes through the Gita and one goes into the Gita, one studies the Gita, what will happen is that negativity come up and it will be transformed and purified. And one will start to, when the mind is being purified, then the body becomes purified. When the mind and the body are purified, then the Trinity, which is the mind, body, and the consciousness, become unified. And then the soul can begin to start revealing itself to the consciousness. And then that's when the magic happens. You know? But for that to happen, you have to become purified. And so by putting into practice the Gita, what happens is the divine qualities start emerging. Because the radiance from the soul, the radiation from the soul starts impacting the consciousness, and then the consciousness impacts the mind, and the mind impacts the body. These divine qualities, they start to manifest. So in the Gita, as Krishna talks, he's talking with Arjuna, and he talks about his beloved devotees. He's talking about how the devotees that have become purified, how these divine qualities are present inside of them. And how this radiance that's deep inside is beginning to shine through. And so Vidya Lakshmi gives these divine qualities. She gives these divine qualities such as sincerity, simplicity, humility is a very big one. She's very, very humble Ma. Maran was giving a speech today, and he was saying she served so much, and even though she served a lot, she feels that she hasn't done enough. And so she keeps giving and giving and giving and giving. This is the quality of Mahalakshmi. She's giving so much. So she's got that integrity, and she will give you that all of these qualities if one is sincere to walk the path. And so, yeah, of course, she is also that wisdom. She knows exactly how to take you to the feet of the Lord. If you're willing, she's not going to force you. She won't put a gun at your head, but she will help you to overcome obstacles and challenges. So we're going to talk about these different aspects. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I'll go to I'll go to Dana Lakshmi, because we already actually, yeah. So Dana Lakshmi, she's the one in the middle there. She's got all the gold coming out. Dana means wealth, and it's more about the material wealth than anything else, because she gives that financial sustenance to be able to survive. Okay, you need a house, you need a car, you need many things in life to survive. I've always been lucky. I've always had the money that I needed. When I was growing up, I used to just walk along and find money on the floor. So Maha was always taking care of me. Once I went to, you go to the bank and you have the machine that you put the card in the wall, and you get the money out. So I was queuing up. There was about 3 people in front of me, and they was all taking their money out of the machine. It's a Friday night. And I got to the machine and I just looked down and there was just money on the floor. Like everybody else who would been there to take the money, didn't see it. So I thought, oh, okay. Well, I don't need to put my card in the machine. I'll just take the money. Thanks very much. So it's like 20 euros on the ground. So I've always been like that. Money's just come to me. I didn't really have to worry about money at all. So she's always taken care of me in that respect. Dana, that ability to give material wealth. So that was really supportive. And a lot of people pray to her to help them to secure material wealth. But this is really only one aspect, as you'll see. This is really, really only one aspect, because there's so much more that she gives. Like in that aspect of Vidya Lakshmi, she gives you that knowledge of something much higher. She gives you the knowledge of what real compassion is, what true love is. She gives you the knowledge of what true friendship is. And just imagine you have a connection, maybe you don't, but you might have a great connection with your mother. Imagine having a connection with your mother you've had it eternally. You've had it for lifetime, eons after eons. You've had it for millions of years, and it's still there. You cannot escape that relationship. It's forever, it's eternal. So she reveals to the souls on their eternal path of life higher wisdom, higher knowledge, higher states of consciousness. And the material wealth is just a fraction of it. It's a tiny, tiny part, but it's necessary, and we need it to survive. So she is often prayed to, and a lot of people pray to her mostly in this aspect, because most people are materially minded. Yeah, they want the money, they want the house, they want the car. Once they got the car and the house, they want the wife. There's lots of attachments you can add on and keep going. And a lot of people, when they don't have it, they really want to pray to her. Now, Lakshmi has a sister. Her sister is called Alakshmi. And everything that Lakshmi is, Alakshmi is the opposite. So Lakshmi is wealth, she's beauty, she's prosperity, she's abundance. Alakshmi, her sister, is ugly, she's old, she brings poverty. So a lot of people, especially in India, you see them praying, and they don't want Alakshmi at all around them. They don't want poverty. They don't want to be poor. They want to get rid of the sister of Lakshmi and welcome in Lakshmi. So this is one of the aspects of the of the Divine Mother also. Yeah, you have duality in this material realm. So often she has granted incredible wealth. When we went to South India 2 years ago, 2019, with the residents, we went to Kumbakonam, and Guruji was telling a story of how a brahmachari, he didn't have enough wealth. He was granted a lot of blessings by Maha Lakshmi, and she was just showering gold down upon this brahmachari. There was another story of Adi Shankaracharya. He was, of course, he was a renunciant, and he used to go around from house to house, and he would go begging. So he went to one house one day, and there was an old lady in there, and he knocked on the door. So she opens the door, and she comes to the front door, and he asks, he's begging for alms, for food. And of course, you cannot refuse a sannyas. It's considered a great blessing to be able to give to a sannyas. So in this culture, so she knows that she has to give, but she's in a dilemma, what to give. She knows that she's got hardly anything. So she goes into her pantry, into the place where she keeps all of her food, and she's looking through, and she can't find anything. And then all she can find is a little gooseberry. I don't know if you know what gooseberries are. They're little green, kind of like berries. Yeah, and sometimes they're a little bit hairy, but they're about this big. And you can make a nice pie out of them if you use them with rhubarb. But anyway, so she only found this little gooseberry in her pantry, and she brought this out and she put this in the hands of Adi Shankaracharya, and that's all she had. She had no other food at all. So Adi Shankara was a bit surprised, that's all she has. And he was so amazed at her generosity that what happened, he started singing a prayer to Maha Lakshmi. Because of her generosity, he wanted to reciprocate that, and through his compassion and his love and respect for her, Maha Lakshmi appeared, and she started showering down, like you see in this picture here with her hand out. She started showering down on the house of the old lady golden gooseberries. They were coming out and falling down. And so it was just like raining golden gooseberries down over and around the house. And so she became extremely wealthy. So in many occasions, Ma has manifested this wealth for people. And even Indra, who is the head of the demigods, he's in, let's say, Indra Loka, one of the highest heavens, and they have, great wealth. But Indra wanted to have the most exquisite wealth, the most exquisite luxury. So what did he do? He should pray to the Supreme, Maha Lakshmi, to be able to attain incredible wealth. And that's what he did. He prayed to her, and he performed a long prayer, and he was endowed, his kingdom was endowed with this great wealth, with this great luxury. So this is, even the demigods, they would sometimes pray to receive that wealth from her. So this is Dana Lakshmi. So we go Danya Lakshmi. So we're just going to go up, and we're going to see she's sitting always in a lotus. So this represents, for many deities, actually, it represents that she's beyond the normal consciousness of man. Yeah, the lotus represents the enlightened state, which is not affected by the material realm. So it's a bit like the swan, the Paramahansa. It can enter into this realm and it can leave, and it's not. It hasn't taken on any karma at all. It comes and it leaves, still perfect. So in the same instance, the Divine Mother Maha Lakshmi, she's beyond this material realm completely. And she just comes in to be able to be of assistance. Well, she's eternally present here. It's not like she comes and goes. It's not like Narayana comes and goes. His presence pervades everything. But let's say he is present in the Vaikuntha. But he's also present here on earth. There was a lady who was on the pilgrimage in Mauritius, and she was talking with Guruji, and she was telling Guruji like how she would like to go to Vaikuntha. And Guruji said, "Why do you want to go to Vaikuntha? It's boring there, and I'm here anyway." So she didn't say much after that. So for Danya Lakshmi, she's the goddess aspect of the Divine Mother, which is giving wealth in that form of grains. So she's got a sugar cane in her right hand. She's also got some barley, some wheat. She's got the lotus, and she's also got the banana. So banana is another manifestation of Mahalakshmi, as well as rice. So often you see when we do the Kalash Puja, we put the Kalash down on a bed of rice. This is representing Mahalakshmi also. And on Fridays, when you perform the Vrat, the specific puja for Mahalakshmi to attain wealth, you can also use a banana plant as well. So this is showing her manifestation in the form of grains. And for Danya Lakshmi, her purpose is to help give you healthy food that will keep the body strong, healthy, young. Yeah. So we're going to go up to Santana Lakshmi. So she's at the top there. And she's very much a mother in that aspect because she's holding a child. So if any of you ladies out there want to have a child and you want to have good quality children, then you should pray to Santana Lakshmi. Sometimes when we've done Lakshmi Yagnas in the past, it's been funny because Guruji says, "Okay, is there any ladies that want to have children?" And some ladies go, "Yes, yes." And the husband's going, "What? No, no." There's a bit of a disagreement there going on in the Yagnashala. And some of the ladies have gone, like, "Yes, Guruji, I want to have a child." She says, "Come here then." So she sits down and they're doing the Yagna, and Guruji says, "You do have a partner, don't you?" And she says, "No." He said, "But yet, to have a child, you need to have a man, isn't it?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "But you don't have one." "No." He said, "Well, how are you going to have a child?" She said, "Oh, Guruji." So in that aspect, when we have done the Lakshmi Yagna in the previous years, so when he calls some of the ladies to come to be present, and they will do a short, like one round of offering, it's that aspect of Lakshmi that is being prayed to, Santana Lakshmi. So Ma, in that form, she is giving children. And a lot of people, a lot of couples have come to Guruji over the years, and they haven't been able to have children. And so through Guruji's grace, through Ma's grace in that form, they've been able to have children. So these children that are born from Santana Lakshmi, she gives good quality children. So what do I mean by this? Children that are spiritually inclined. They already have an aspect of their consciousness which is already in that direction of wanting to understand what is the purpose of life. Why am I here? What should I do with my life? They have good qualities, patience. Maybe they might be very direct, but honest, sincere. So when somebody prays to Santa Lakshmi, or a couple come together, they do the puja, they have the blessing from Guruji. Often these children will be very, they can be very strong-minded, but as they will grow up later on in life, there will be a great blessing to the society. There's many children. In 2007, I remember Guruji saying You know, there's 5,000 souls waiting to incarnate. There's 5,000 children waiting to be born because they all want to be here on the earth with me. So I was thinking, wow, that's a lot of babies. So yeah, Santa Lakshmi's got lots of work to do. Okay, and Santana actually means children. So she's the aspect of Lakshmi that gives children. Okay, moving across from top right to the middle, we've got Gaja Lakshmi at the top there. And you see above Gaja Lakshmi, you have two of these white elephants. In India, a white elephant is very rare. You know, when you get some animals are born, they have this white complexion. I forget the name, there's a special name for it. Anyway, these white elephants were very rare, and so they were highly sought after, and only the kings could afford such elephants because they were so expensive. So these white elephants represent royalty. And when Mahalakshmi appeared from the Milky Ocean, if he was watching the live stream earlier on today for the Lakshmi Yagna, you would have heard Maran talk a little bit about this. So when she appeared from the Milky Ocean, the elephants were taking their kum and they were washing her with milk. So they were showing that she's worthy of worship. And of course, when she appeared from the Milky Ocean, it was the first time that she had really appeared as a deity for the purpose of worship. She had actually appeared before, but it didn't turn out so well for her. I think she was a wife of Prajapati, and because she was so radiant, she was so magnificent, she appeared from a yagna. She was so amazing and glorious. The demigods were frightened of her. So they wanted to kill her. But Prajapati said, no, it's not dharmic to kill a woman. So what they did is they conspired and they decided to take all the wealth, the spiritual greatness from her. So one by one, the demigods would come to her and ask her for one aspect of her spiritual wealth. And her being who she is, she's so merciful, she's so loving, she's so giving, she's very happy to give. So she would give one quality after another. Let's say she would give sincerity, humility, she would give concentration, she would give wealth, she would give prosperity, she would keep giving and giving and giving. And as the demigods came one after another, after a while, after they'd all come, she was left with nothing, and she was just like a normal woman, without that intense glow, without that intense shine, without that radiance. And so her father was, after that, he was very sad because he understood what had happened. And so he said, don't worry, everything that you have lost now, you will regain in a future life and more. So what happens, this, let's say this, it wasn't a curse, I would say this is a promise. This promise did actually become fulfilled, and that was the emerging from the Milky Ocean. When Gaja Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi appeared, she was called Gaja Lakshmi, what happened is she was radiant at that time, but then the Devas, they all came one by one, and they wanted to honor her, they wanted to worship her. So what they did is they actually gave of what was given many long time ago. They actually gave it back, and they gave more. And so she was given many glorious jewelry. She was given many celestial weapons. She was given perfume. She was given beautiful silks and garlands, so many, lots of gold and jewelry. So she was extremely radiant. And of course, you know, as we hear in the story of the churning of the ocean, you know, you have the demons and the devas, they were churning the Milky Ocean, and many things came out of the ocean. And then virtually before the Amrit comes out, what comes out is Mahalakshmi. Gaja Lakshmi. And then when she comes out, this is very symbolic, because on our spiritual path, we are all working very hard. You know, we have ups and downs like this. Every day is different. And a lot of poisons coming out. This is the hala hala. And so what is happening is there's a lot of transformation taking place. But one of the last things to come out, really to come out from inside of you, is Mahalakshmi. What does she represent in this story? Is actually, she represents this real devotion. Because you see often the pictures of Mahalakshmi, she's pressing the feet of her Lord. She's always at the feet. This represents her humility. It's like the story when Arjuna and Duryodhana went to see Krishna in Dwaraka. And when Krishna woke up, he saw Arjuna first because he was at the feet. And then he saw Duryodhana because he was sitting up here at the head afterwards. So Mahalakshmi is always at the feet, represents that humility. So with that humility, that comes that incredible love. And this is one of the last things to emerge from the Milky Ocean, and that was Mahalakshmi. And where should that devotion be placed? So as she was walking amongst all the demigods, as she was walking amongst all the demons, she could see none were worthy of her love. They were all imperfect in some way. They were all bound by some form of limitation. But when she came, she had a vanamala, she had a garland in her hands, and she was looking for the one that was fit for her. And when she saw her eyes rested on Vishnu, she could see that he was indifferent. He was not, looking after her with eyes like this. And she could see that he was silent. He was the master of himself. He had all the qualities. And so she went up to him and she garlanded him. And that represents that divine quality of devotion that we each have inside should be placed at the feet of the ultimate supreme. That's where our true love should be placed. It shouldn't be placed for the materialistic things. It shouldn't be placed for a hobby of this or a hobby of that. It should truly be there for the Sadguru or for God. So this is what this manifestation from the Milky Ocean really means. It's about that devotion. It's one of the last things to awaken really on our spiritual path, because it's a lot of polishing over many incarnations. But to get there, to get to that incredible devotion, takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of work. And so we're going to go across to the next top left corner there. We've got Veera Lakshmi. So Veera means courage. And you can see in her hands, if you can just make that a little bit bigger, perhaps. I don't know how good a quality this picture is if we blow it up. Okay. You can see a little bit better. So you can see, I don't know, can you see my arrow? Can you see my arrow there? Give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Okay. So you see that she's got an arrow here. She's got a bow here. She's still got her conch, which is also a weapon. She's got the chakra. This aspect, Veera Lakshmi, she's got lots of weapons in her hand. Oh, you can see a sword here as well. It's rare that I was speaking with one devotee. I was very curious about this story because he was sharing with me. I was sharing the story about how I experienced Kali once, and it was absolutely terrifying. And after sharing that story, he came to me and he was sharing, he said, I had an experience very similar to yours. But he said, the first time I had a vision of Lakshmi, he said, I was completely terrified. Like, she terrified me like crazy. And I was like, really? Because like she's always been like super sweet, like she's super lovely. And he was like, yeah, like I was so scared. It was incredible. And I was like, oh, that's very good. So obviously she was probably manifesting for him in this aspect, Veera Lakshmi. And why do I say that? Well, we all have on our eternal path as souls, making our long journey back to God, we have a lot of things to overcome. Now, in the mind of man, there's actually, it's called 6 negative qualities of the mind. I wanted to find these. Let me see. Yes. Yeah. There are 6 negative qualities which I'll talk about when I talk about Vijaya Lakshmi. So Veera Lakshmi, what she does is, a lot of us, when we meet Guruji, he's very nice, and then the honeymoon period, for some people the honeymoon period is longer. For some people, some of you devotees, it might be shorter. But after the honeymoon period comes the washing machine period. And the washing machine period, you get washed. And sometimes that washing can be quite intense. So sometimes Guruji, he reflects something back to you that perhaps you don't want to see. And it's like a big challenge. You're hit with something you don't want to look at. And you think, oh my God, I didn't realize I was like that. Or I don't want to see it. And then you're stuck in that process. Have you ever been stuck in a process with Guruji and you was like, oh my God, what's going on? I don't know. Why is he like this? He's so rude to me. I didn't do anything. I didn't even say anything. And he's showing something to you. And you think, how do I overcome this? Well, first of all, you have to have the courage to actually look at it. And Veera Lakshmi gives you that courage. She gives you the courage to look at what you need to look at. Otherwise, how are you gonna accept it? How are you even going to come near to accepting it? You have to acknowledge what is inside. When she gives you that power, that courage to look at something, then you know, okay, this is what I need to work with. So having that courage, we're able to start approaching and working with that issue that's blocking us, or it's actually a blessing in disguise, that is something that we have to overcome on our path. For each one, it's different. So having her with us to give us that courage and that power, what happens then after that is that we come to the next aspect. And the next aspect is called Vijaya Lakshmi. So she's just below her. In Vijaya is meaning victory. So what is she going to give us victory over? She's going to give us victory over what each person has up here is a mind. And everybody needs to, as Krishna says in the Gita, you need to use the mind to go beyond the mind. But the problem is the mind has got 6 main negative qualities that you can work through for many, many incarnations. So the first, well, they're not necessarily in order, but one of them is called karma, which is lust. The other is krodha, which is anger. The other one is lobha, which is greed. The other one is moha, which is attachment. The other negative quality is mada, which is pride. And the last is matsarya, which is jealousy. So it's lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy. You know how it is sometimes. I've seen this in in SPM.
Swamiji, could you please slowly repeat all the negative qualities? Thank you.
So the first is kama, K-A-M-A, that's lust. Then it's krodha, Krodha, which is anger. The next is Lobha, Lobha, which is greed. And then Moha, which is attachment. Next is Madha, which is pride. And the last is Matsarya, Matsarya. That's jealousy. So these 6 aspects are the 6 main, let's say, negative qualities that most people have to work through in the mind. And I see it many times when people come here to meet and see Guruji. Guruji might be in the lobby and he might want to talk to one person, and the devotee who's next to him, who's not getting any look in, will just step straight in front of that person. So Guruji's got no choice but to look at that devotee now, because they've literally stood in between Guruji and that person when they had a conversation. It's like, I couldn't believe it. Like, are you crazy? So this jealousy is, it's easy. It's very dangerous. It can destroy. And so Vijaya Lakshmi gives that victory. First of all, you have to, in the form of courage, Virya Lakshmi, she gives you the courage to look at it. She gives you the power to address it. And you need that power to overcome these negative things. And then Vijaya Lakshmi, she gives you that victory to overcome these 6 negative qualities, so that one can become selfless. One is without lust. One was without greed. They're selfless, they're giving, they're charitable. One is compassionate to all beings. They no longer suffer from anger. One is detached. They're not attached to material things anymore. They're not attached to situations or places. They have complete humility. So all their pride has been cleansed from them. And they don't have any jealousy anymore. Yeah. So they're like actually they're Anashuya. Ana means without, and Shuya means jealousy. So they're without jealousy. And to be without jealousy means you're full from inside. You don't need to look outside of yourself anymore to find fullness, because you have it from in the inside, that fullness state, that divine state, that quality is inside. No need to look outside any longer. So this is what Vijaya Lakshmi gives. She gives you these victories over these 6 different, let's say, enemies of the mind, until one attains that state of divinity. All these divine qualities inside begin to emerge and manifest because of the help and the intercession, because of the mercy that she's given. And she's always giving, all the time, all the time. Okay. So then we have the last one, which is Adi Lakshmi. So Adi means half. And when you get married, you say my other half. If you're a good husband, you say my better half. You get that right now, husbands, okay? So, of course, who is she married to? Lord Narayana. So, of course, it's the half of Narayana. And if we understand it in the right way, we understand that Mahalakshmi, she is the power that enables the will of God to manifest. And where is Narayana not present? He's present everywhere. Every loka, every realm, every universe. He's present inside the heart of every being. Whenever he wants his will to be made manifest, it's her. They're indistinguishable. And so it's through her power that his will is made manifest. So it's very beautiful because they're eternally always together. Now, Adi Lakshmi, she also, in her presence, let's say, pervades everything. But let's say spiritually, she resides in Vaikuntha. That's the loka in which she's present, where she's always at the feet of the Lord, ready and showing her humility, ready to carry out his will. So at the feet, to be at the feet of the Lord, you have to be extremely humble. Yeah. And what is her main duty? Well, because she resides in Vaikuntha, she looks out upon the Milky Ocean. She looks out into all of the universes, and she sees all the souls who are trapped in the cycle of birth and death. And the universe comes into being, and the universe goes out of existence. And again, it manifests again. And these souls are caught and trapped in this long process of going up to heaven, down to hell, back to earth, up to heaven, back to earth, down to hell, longer holiday, up to earth. And Guruji said 2 years ago in a satsang, he said to some of the residents, you know, you've been doing this thousands of times. You've gone to heaven thousands of times. He says, when is it going to end? Literally, our souls have done this cycle of going up to heaven, back to earth, up to heaven, back to earth, so many times. He said, when's it going to end? And so this is when the Sadguru has to come. This is when Narayana has to come and give you a big kick up the arse and remind you that you're not, your purpose in your home is not here, not this universe, it's beyond. And so as she's looking out upon the vast realms of all the universes, her work is through that compassion and that mercy to bring the soul to the Lord itself. So she's called Ramana because she's so merciful, so compassionate. She grants peace to mankind. And that peace is to attain the Lord himself, is to attain his grace. Now, I spoke about it the other day in the beginning of the Lakshmi Yajna, and Ramanuja, he wrote, let's say, a short scripture about the science of surrender. And as Vaishnavas, the pinnacle of our spiritual journey is Sharanagati, it's complete surrender of mind, of body, of soul to the divine. Now, to attain that state of surrender is not possible through our works, what we do, but it's possible to attain that through the grace. Because when one completely surrenders, one is able to perform the most perfect service because of that, the Lord enabling one to attain that height of love. We all have this love inside, but how many of us actually radiate that? It's very few. And so it really requires that grace of God to help us, or to manifest that love. And Ramanuja, he was inspired. He went straight to Maha Lakshmi and he said, there's nobody else. There's none other than you. To be able to get to him, the ultimate, the supreme, Narayana. I mean, it's quite interesting. Ramanuja was an incarnation of Adishesh. Yeah, and he's permanently in Vaikuntha. So, but in this realm, he was saying, Ma, there's nobody else. It's just you. It's only through your grace, through your mercy, that I can have the possibility to come close to him and have the possibility to attain his grace, to be given the opportunity to fully surrender so that I can serve him eternally in Vaikuntha. And because Mahalakshmi is so merciful, like there's an ocean of mercy that comes from her. And so it doesn't matter what one has done. If one is showing that willingness to change sincerely, she will do everything. Even if Narayan was to say, yeah, but this one is no good because for 5 lifetimes he's been at this and that, she'd be like, no, it's wrong. That's all wrong. You've looked at him in the wrong way. You have misunderstood the soul, this intention of the soul. And she will even convince Narayana, yes, this is the one. He's worthy of Narayana. You take him now. She's so merciful. So she's really interceding And she is, because of the different aspects that we've looked through tonight, you can see that from many incarnations, the Divine Mother, in the aspect of Mahalakshmi, but also in other aspects, she's empowering, she's giving the material wealth, she's giving the knowledge, she's giving good family, she's giving the courage to change, she's giving you the victory. And as we go through lifetime after lifetime, one begins to develop this association with the Lord, with Narayana. And it's really Adi Lakshmi, the Supreme Divine Mother, who's pulling that soul homeward and helping that soul to develop that closeness, that relationship with Narayana, lifetime after lifetime, so that soul can become very, very, very dear to the Lord, because she ultimately just wants him, that soul, to attain where she is. So in this way, she's the mother of everybody. She's the mother of all beings, independently of wherever they are, what they have done, what they have been or not been. It doesn't matter. But the relationship of Mahalakshmi is eternal. It always will be eternal with everything that's become ever manifested. And she's the mother of everything. And so if you want to attain the ultimate, the supreme, if you come to her and pray to her, she will do whatever she can to be able to elevate you. One thing I liked what Guruji said, I can't remember, it was a few years ago. He said about the Radharani, and he talked about the love of Radharani about 6 years before that. And he said, you know, Shiva was talking to Parvati, and he said to Parvati, you know, if you add up all the transcendental joy and the transcendental suffering, it will not even equal the shadow of the love of Radharani. So what Shiva was trying to explain to Parvati is the love of Radharani for Krishna is so great. There is nothing greater than that. There is nothing that you can even begin to, let's say, measure it against. So Parvati couldn't understand this. And so what he was trying to show is that this is such a supreme love that it's incomparable. And Guruji said, you know, Radharani is actually the manifestation of the love inside of the heart of Mahalakshmi. So I found that very beautiful. Of course, Mahalakshmi is actually ultimately an aspect of the Lord himself. So, but in that aspect, Mahalakshmi, she's got that supreme cosmic love. And that was that aspect of love that manifested in the form of Radharani. Guruji's very rarely said this. So every time we say Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham, I always think of what Guruji said all those years ago about Radharani. So I guess in conclusion, if you want to attain Guruji, pray to Mahalakshmi, because he's very, very sweet with her, you know. I remember sometimes we have some accidents on the altar, and sometimes Guruji can be very, very strict, you know, like he gives you those laser beam eyes and he tells you off. And so this is my experience. So we were on the altar, and one of the pujaris rushed on. It was time for arati, and he came on and kicked over the vase, and the water fell over and went all over the place, and Guruji was just like, oh no. And so he cleaned it all up, and then he just rushed around the other side and kicked the ghee lamp over, and the ghee went all over the altar. And so from one mess to the other, and he did want to be angry, but you could see Ma, because of her presence, he was just like, because she was just so loving and so merciful and graceful, that Guruji was like, I can't be angry with anybody when I'm in her presence. She's just so merciful and lovely. And so she's this is another story that happened years ago. So it was a Lakshmi Yagna. It was in the tent, must have been 2011, 2012. And I used to always sit next to Guruji, and we used to do the ceremonies together. And sometimes it was very messy. And this yagna, Guruji was just sitting on his chair. He was just putting the ghee into the yagna. And he was very, very happy. He was in a very good mood. And he was smiling a bit. And when he was putting the ghee into the yagna, he held his spoon up like this and just smashed the spoon down on the bowl, and the bowl tipped on him, and the ghee went over his feet. He was wearing socks, and so the ghee went over his feet, and then he was just laughing, and I was like, oh. And I was sitting next to him and thinking, oh my God, what's he doing? He's making a big mess. So then I had to take the towel and I had to clean everything up and bring more ghee, and he was just happy, and he was just carrying on, swaha, swaha. And he had a lovely yagna. And then it was about 4 years after that, Guruji happened to be suddenly telling this story of what happened at that moment. And I was passing by, and I was waiting to talk with him. So I just stopped, and he was talking with an Indian couple. And he said, some years ago, I was doing a yagna, it was a Lakshmi yagna. So when I was offering the ghee into the fire, she asked me if she could do abhishekam to me. So I said yes. So as I put my spoon up like this, she took her hand and pushed it down, and the spoon hit the yagna, the bowl, and all the ghee went over my feet. So of course, I didn't see her standing next to him, but she just whang. And so all the ghee went over his feet, and that's why she managed to do abhishekam on her husband. So that's why Guruji was laughing. And I was thinking, oh my, I didn't see anything of that. And I was just thinking, he's just making a mess. So it's quite funny, the two of them, he loves her very, very much. And she's full of mercy and love for him and everybody. So yeah, this is a little bit about Maha Lakshmi. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. Maybe, I don't know if anybody has any questions. Prithvi Dasi said no, didn't enjoy that at all. Does anybody have any questions at all you want to ask?
Jai Gurudev, Swami, thank you very much for your lecture. I'm the Pujari here in Bhakti Marga temple. So we have a Maha Lakshmi, so it's amazing to learn more about her. So my question is, it's very hard to find literature about her and how to study her more and learn more about her. Do you have any recommendations for us to be able to study?
There is one book that I would have to, I've got it in my room, and I'd have to have a look on the ISBN number and the title, but there are a few books that you can find. But you do have to do a bit of looking for Lakshmi, yeah. But I could send it to you. I think I have you on Telegram, yeah. Or I could just send it.
Yes, I can send you hi, and then
okay.
Then you know who I am.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Anybody else want to share an experience with Maha Lakshmi?
Oh, you placed me.
No, Shamala is in the screen then.
Hi, in Sweden. Okay. Okay.
It's amazing to hear all this experience, and especially after all these 3 days celebrating, it's such a blessing. I mean, we feel really showered by her mercy, let's say, and joy. Yesterday, I was sharing some experiences with Maha Lakshmi I have seen recently in my meditations, and it is very similar as you described, that she is the joy and she is the happiness of the path. She is the inspiration to the path, but she's also giving the strength, and she's also giving the ways, and she's also giving the joy of the path. So I don't know, I saw her in the colors of paintings. I saw her in the joy with the devotees in the Sangha, in many aspects of her. But that's exactly what you were explaining today, but much more detail you did. And it's so complete, your explanation of all these aspects of Mahalakshmi. So we are so thankful. I mean, no words, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody wants to share?
Actually, I have a question, if it's okay. I have another question. Swami, I heard one time Mayuran saying that Guruji has both aspects inside of him, that he has Narayana and Mahalakshmi, and he's always like being very merciful because of her part, and like you said, like this experience in the temple. Could you say a little bit more about when we can see, or how we can identify this energy of her in him, and what does means in our spiritual path?
Okay. Well, to tell you the truth, it's got nothing to do with what you can do. Sorry. It's up to him. And I'm honest in that respect, because you might want to do whatever it is, and you might want to see Guruji as Vishnu, as Shiva, as Mahalakshmi, or whatever, but he's going to show you what you need to see. And I know that for a fact. I mean, being around him for quite a few years, he's going to let you see what he wants you to see. And so it's not really within your power to wish to see the divine feminine aspect in him. If he wants to reveal that, he will. Like some years ago, when Guruji was in South India, and he was in a Divine Mother temple, and he was standing there looking at a murti of the Divine Mother, and he was standing about a meter from another Bhakti Marga Swami. And when somebody is very, very close to you like this, not very, very far away, you can see, you don't have to turn your head, you can see from the corner of your eye, you can see that person there. And this Swami was standing there looking at the Divine Mother, and Guruji was standing there looking at the Divine Mother, and he saw something change. Nobody came, Guruji didn't leave, he was just, something changed. And when he turned his head to look to see what had happened, the head of this person also began to turn. And as he turned his head like this and he was looking, the eyes locked, and he was looking at this incredible, beautiful woman in a red sari. And when he looked at the eyes, they were Guruji's eyes. And he knew that it was Guruji, but it was the Divine Mother. And he was so scared, he just looked at the deity. And then he just turned around and he just walked out because he was terrified, because he knew Guruji just transformed into the Divine Mother, and he didn't know what to do about it, and he couldn't handle it, so best to leave. So he literally walked out of the temple, and he didn't know what to do with himself. He was freaking out. And then a couple of minutes later, Guruji walks out of the temple as Guruji, and he looks at him and he says, "So, what did you think? She was nice, huh?" And then he just walked off, and he was like, didn't know what to do. So it's really up to Guruji to answer your question. If he wants to reveal an aspect of himself, if he wants you to see him as something, he will. And literally, it can be like that. You can be standing next to Shamala, you're both seeing Guruji, you're both at an event, you're side by side, you look at Guruji and you'll see one thing and Shamala will see something else. And that's happened, and it's confused people to no end. But Guruji can literally want you to see whatever he wants. So to answer your question, it's in his hands. Yeah. But you can have the wish, you can pray for that aspect to be revealed. And if he wants it, if it's meant to be, it will be. Yeah. Yeah, so nice question.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes. Yeah.
Can we say that there's no duality for God, female or male? There is unity. What do you think about this?
To answer you, yes, there is no duality, and yes, there is duality. Okay. He has made the duality, but within the duality, there's unity. Yeah. It's like you have a coin. It has two sides, but you can't have a coin without two sides. You have a head and a tail on the coin, and that's the coin. That's the fullness of the coin. It's got two sides. God manifests himself into this limited realm, and it's a realm of duality. So the duality exists, but with that duality exists within a much vaster realm, which is unity. Yeah. So it's like this universe, which is limited, exists within something that's unlimited. God, something's unlimited. It comes into a limited body. Let's call it Guruji. He's a man. But how can God be a man, or how could God be a woman, Maha Lakshmi? But the divine chooses to limit itself. For the purpose of what? Why would God want to limit himself? For the purpose of relationship. Because the relationship can be had in so many ways. As a lover, as a child, as a friend, as an uncle, as an auntie. So this is a great leela, it's a great play, it's a great drama to experience this duality. Guruji doesn't always come as an Indian man. He's had many incarnations, not full, but also as partial incarnations as saints. And so God can manifest himself in so many ways and experience, because of that duality, a difference of relationship. It's never boring. It's always different. Yeah. So this is why duality exists, because the relationship is always different. Every one of you has a different relationship with Guruji. It's not the same because of duality, because of limitation. This is why it makes it so interesting. So duality exists for a purpose, but you also will one day go beyond that duality. Yeah. Does it help to understand?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask something?
Yes, you can.
We are 5 devotees, new devotees from Turkey, and our names are from Maha Lakshmi names. I think different aspects, but can you say something about, for example, mine is Shanti Swarupini Dasi. How can we contact with the ones you told us now, how can we grow this relationship with our names and with Mahalakshmi?
Just develop your relationship with Mahalakshmi. So just it's like when I got my name, Anashuya is a woman's name. Out of all the Swamis, I was most confused. I was completely confused. I'm sure Guruji got the wrong name. For some reason, something happened and the wrong name came to the wrong person. So once I had an understanding of the name itself, then I could understand, wow, that's a great gift. So of course, Shanti is a name of peace. It is peace itself. And the supreme peace is a radiation from the soul itself. The soul is an aspect of God. It's a tiny little spark of God. And imagine the soul is like the sun. Now, the sun is not producing only heat, it's producing light. It's releasing a lot of different things. But one of the radiances that comes from the soul, it's that peace. It's that profound, divine, unbroken peace. And that's one of the qualities that the mother gives. It's a peace that can't be broken. Yeah. It's called, I forgot now. Nirvana. The Buddhists talk about they're trying to attain nirvana. And nirvana is that divine peace that radiates from the divinity inside of you. And the Divine Mother gives you that power to attain that peace. So Shanti is that state of peace where the mind is not affected by anything on the outside. So your mind is eternally in that state of complete silence, complete peace. And that peace radiates through you. And that peace is a cause for upliftment for all those people around you. When the people come into your presence, they're not bothered by desires anymore. They find that happiness because that peace emanates from you. And so when you're in the presence of somebody like Guruji and he's sitting in that state of meditation or that state of love in darshan, you find that peace. This is for you, this is one aspect, this is one of the qualities of the name that has been given for you, because when everybody says Shanti, Shanti, Shanti, it's a reminder that that's a part of who you are. That's a part of what you've come to manifest in this lifetime, this time round. Yeah. So it's very, very important to understand the name that you've been given and to connect with that and see, why did I receive that name? That's interesting. What's that connection with me? And of course, this is one of the powers that the Divine Mother gives, is this supreme peace, which helps you to let go of desire in the mind. When you're peaceful inside, you don't need anything more on the outside. Then you have a very clear journey before you. When you know inside, this is my path. There is nothing else. There is nothing to distract me anymore. I am completely content with this path, with my life, with this, let's say, this goal, this aim. That will make a change in you, and that will make a change in many people that come in contact with you, because that peace that you have will be a great source of clarity. So it's very important to understand the name and the qualities that go with the name. Yeah. Okay. So, how is the translator doing? Okay.
That was amazing, amazing.
Okay.
Jai Gurudev, I would actually like to share something. I have seen one time Guruji. I've seen one time Guruji in my dream. Actually, one or two times as Mahalakshmi in my dream, and I didn't see him as a woman. It was Guruji himself, but it was very clear that he is in the role of Mahalakshmi. But he was exactly it was Guruji, but it was Mahalakshmi, and that was very nice for me to see that it's. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but it wasn't a different person. It was the same actually, and yes, that's what I wanted to share.
Yeah, this is the beauty. From Narayan, you have every aspect, you have every quality, and so he can really give that fullness. Jaitraya doing locking duty. You can give that fullness in any form, and strangely enough, I was looking for a divine master that was a male but also female. I couldn't explain. And when I saw Guruji, after the first time I experienced that incredible divine love, I knew that he was just as male as he was female. I couldn't explain it, but I knew. I could feel it inside. And so he is that. You see many times that quality. Like sometimes when he would go for darshan in Portugal, in the place where I forget the name of the place where Mother Mary appears, Fatima. That's it. When he would go to Fatima and he would give darshan, often Mother Mary would be present in his body, and she would be the one that will give the darshan. Many times, sometimes it's the form of the Divine Mother which is giving darshan. So there is that for many people. They have that connection with that aspect of him, and they know that's him. So it's very beautiful. And depending on who you are, you will have all a different relationship with him in a different form, but it's still him. Yeah. So can be a bit confusing for some people. But ultimately, when you understand that everything comes from one place, one supreme form, then it starts to make sense, because that form can manifest any aspect for you to help you understand your relationship to that supreme form through that aspect. And for me, my relationship to Guruji is through Mahalakshmi. Yeah. So yeah.
May I say something?
Yes.
Yes. Swami, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I was a little bit late, but I just saw the wonderful picture of the aspects of Mahalakshmi, and what I realized, it was this immense vibration coming out of my computer, and it was wonderful just to sit there and hear your voice and see this picture. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. It's probably Maha.
Yes, it was so nice. Thank you very much.
Swamiji, can I ask something?
Yeah, Agrahadas. Nice to see you.
How are you? Nice to see you, man. Good, good. In Christianity, I wanted to ask you, in Christianity, of course, you know, we have the Divine Mother, Mother Mary, let's say, okay? How can we say it? Of course, it's an aspect of the Divine Mother, but is she close, let's say, to, of course it's close, but can you a little bit elaborate more? Because I heard that it's like a form of Mother Durga. I would like also your, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in each universe, you have the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And they're responsible for creating, sustaining, and destroying the universe. So when a soul becomes Christant, they become, they attain self-realization. And Mother Mary is known to be, as it was said, I'm not going to say who said it, As it was said, Mother Mary was created so she could create Jesus. And there was a great relationship between the two of them. So she was not a normal woman by any means. So she was created to give birth to an avatar. And she was an avatar herself. So of course, when she died, after 3 days, her body was taken back into heaven. This is why you do not find the body of Mother Mary on the earth. Now, she is also known as the Mother of God, so in the Christian tradition. So who is she? She is, if we look in each universe, you have Maha Lakshmi, you have Saraswati, and you have Parvati, or Kali, or Durga. Mother Mary is, I'm not entirely sure if I would equate her with Lakshmi, Saraswati, or Parvati, but she is one of the Divine Mothers who is responsible for the upliftment of humanity and plays a very large part in that. When Guruji actually had a vision of Durga many years ago, he was asking her, Durga Devi, what's the difference between you and, he was trying to understand the different aspects. And as he was looking at the face of Durga Devi, the face started to change. And then it changed in such a way that half of the face was Mother Mary and half of the face was actually Durga Devi. And then he realized that the face of the mother is actually one. They play many different aspects. And so ultimately, we can say that Maha Lakshmi is the supreme form of the Divine Mother in Vaikuntha. And every aspect of the mother is manifesting from her, ultimately from Narayana himself. And so there is that connection with every aspect, that feminine aspect is the Divine Mother herself, to a greater or to a lesser extent. I mean, on the earth now, there are many incarnations of the Divine Mother. Some are full, but there are many partial incarnations of the Divine Mother. And so Mother Mary was also a partial incarnation of the Divine Mother herself, not a completely full, but a partial incarnation, and had to complete that work at that time for that mission. So that work that she's still doing and continuously doing now is still to uplift humanity, so that they can attain that grace, to attain that state of self-realization. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how's it going there in Turkey? Is it late for you guys?
It is, but we are used to be late. But we are in the end of our lockdown here. That's been for some weeks. Mm-hmm. And even though we had lockdown, we managed to create the celebrations online and joining very small groups that they managed to join. I don't know how. And yeah, things are never going to be very easy in Turkey, but we are used to that. And I think some aspects of the mother is supporting us here to be in our path. And yesterday I was sharing also some experiences I had with the mother, saying that she protects us as she's here for a long time, protecting everything that is going on here.
Mm. Yeah. She's a very strong protector. Yeah. Just like all mothers who protect their children, if you upset the mother, oops. So yeah, she will take care of the children.
Yeah, I feel she's a long time with us. She's all time with us, actually, more and more. And I was saying, I feel also I have a lingam of a Sri Yantra that Guruji gave me through some visions I had. And then he gave me that just kind of he recognized what I have seen, and I feel, because that's what exactly I have seen in my vision. And then the lingam is transparent, and I that's also how I see the mother, because I don't have much eyes for her. My Ishtadev is Krishna, but I'm always seeing her transparent and very humble, but she's providing everything in a very transparent way, let's say. She's not showing off herself, and she's always providing. She's always present, but she's always bringing, opening the roads and guiding us to the divine. That's how I see, how I perceive her, and my relationship with her is like that. And every time I have a strong, even when I was praying for Maria in the first time in the ashram, and it was the time that Guruji came and talked to me. So I always see, whenever I have a good connection with the mother, I have afterwards a strong vision or relationship with the divine, and I'm always see her like preparing me for that next step. So that's how I see the mother.
Yeah, yeah. She's always preparing us to go higher and higher, closer and closer to the divine. Yeah. Yeah.
May I ask you a question, Swamiji?
Yes.
Actually, can we have a direct relationship with Guruji, not through Mahalakshmi, for example? Not through anyone, any divine aspect, just direct relationship with Guruji. Is it a prideful way of thinking? Is it like that?
It is possible, I mean, to have a direct relationship with him. I mean, the fact that he's here on earth in a body, and the thing is, every relationship's different. I mean, at the end of the day, how you relate to Guruji, how I relate to Guruji, and he will take on the aspect that perhaps you're closest to. Like a friend of mine, she was very close to Jesus, and her first darshan, she couldn't see the face of Guruji at all. She was sitting like 20 meters away. And after 3 hours of darshan, I said, wasn't it wonderful? Isn't he beautiful? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, I couldn't see his face. And I was thinking, what's going wrong with her eyes? And she said, all I could see was the face of Jesus for 3 hours. I was like, oh, okay then. And so it's yes, it's possible to have a relationship with him, but the relationship that he wants you to have is primarily, it's all about the kind of relationship that he wants to have with you. As I said before, when the question was asked, and I gave that story about how the Swami had the darshan of the Divine Mother, and it was Guruji, but he was manifesting the form of the Divine Mother. You can have a direct relationship with Guruji, but it's always going to be on his terms, because he knows what way he has to interact with you for your benefit, for your development. Yeah. So how that's going to manifest for you is going to always be different, Prithvidasi, from you to Shamala or to Agrahayadas. But yes, it's very possible that everybody has that just direct connection with him, but it's going to be a different connection. Yeah. But to answer your question, why do we pray to the Guru and we also have an Ishtadev? But the Ishtadev, if the Guru is an incarnation of Narayana, the fullness of Narayana, that connection that we have with the Ishtadev is a facet of the Guru. And so by learning to develop that relationship with that facet, through that facet, we attain the whole. And the Ishtadev is a bit like, it's the key to get through the door to the fullness. We have to attain the grace of the divine. And the Ishtadev is trying to bring you to a certain point where you attain that grace to experience the fullness of God in the form of the Sadguru. So this is why Guruji, even though he can have a direct relationship one-to-one, he still wants you to be able to approach him through a specific route, because your direct relationship with him has been that relationship with a certain aspect of the divine for many incarnations. You've already had an incarnation and you've had a certain relationship with a certain form for many, many lifetimes. And now you're asking, can I have a direct relationship? Yes, you can, but he wants you to do the work to come to him through an aspect, because he's not going to just reveal all of himself like this. He's not going to just, the next time you come to Sri Pitananaya, he's not going to do an Arjuna and a Krishna situation. Boom, now you see the whole universe. It's a fraction of himself. He's going to manifest himself in every single form. It's still him. And you're going to go, ah, it's too much. Yeah, it's still him. I'm still having a direct relationship. But because he's everything, he's going to make it easy for you to come through one aspect. It's still him, but he's going to make it easy for you because of the path that the soul has taken through many incarnations. He's going to make it easy to you to come to him. And that's that aspect that you're most familiar with, or have that deepest connection. And so it's the most surest, it's the most easiest, it's the most, let's say, direct route for you to come through that form, to have that, you're still having that direct relationship, but to experience the fullness of who he is. Yeah. Does that help or not?
No, it didn't help.
Okay.
Just joking, of course. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It really helped.
But just understand that, I don't know, who is your Ishtadev?
Mine, Lakshmi Narayan.
Okay. So you, I mean, yeah, you will always, he wants you to come to him through that relationship of Lakshmi and Narayan. And it's the same for myself. So you just look at that relationship, these two, you know, what's their relationship like? It's such an incredible closeness of relationship, because when you look at all the incarnations of Lakshmi Narayan, they come down, you know, you've got time and time again, they come down again and again and again and again and again. And it's very beautiful to see how many times and how loving their relationship is. So like Bhudevi, you have the name Prithvi Dasi, right? Prithvi is another aspect from Mother Earth. So Bhudevi, when she was rescued by Varaha, Varaha took her from the bottom of the cosmic ocean and lifted him up on the snout. She was on the snout of the Varaha and lifted up to the surface of the cosmic waters. And before he left to go back to Vaikuntha, she asked him for the protection, and he said to her, you're very, very dear to me. I will always protect you. I will always come. So in that aspect of Varaha avatar, he was showing the dearness, this love that they have together. And she said, you know, to show how it's possible, Bhudevi said, you know, to show how it's possible to attain to attain this love. She said, I want to show humanity in the future a very simple way how it's possible to attain your lotus feet. So she incarnated as Andal, and she used to offer garlands. She was often wearing them, and then she would give them to her father, and he would give them to Narayan. She used to make beautiful poetry. Some of it was very steamy and hot poetry. And she would make lots of songs. And it was a very simple way of showing again this love the two of them have. And when you look at the different stories of Lakshmi Narayan manifesting, and you look at the relationship, you will see that he wants you to approach him through this understanding of their relationship. Yeah, and then you begin to understand a bit more that what that relationship is. And you might be able to just perhaps contemplating what their relationships are. What does that mean for me? What does that mean in my relationship to Guruji? The dearness of their relationship together, what's that got to do with me and him? So it's for each one that has that Ishtadev, where it's your route coming towards Guruji, you have that direct relationship. And for some of you, it might be that he doesn't talk very much, or he's very direct. And then he's asking you to come to him through the Ishtadev. And what's that Ishtadev? What's that relationship like to you? what's the relationship of the Ishtadev to the devotees? You know, when that Ishtadev's manifested itself, what happened in those incarnations? What purpose did it come for? What's that mean? What's that got to do with my relationship with him? Because that Ishtadev's a part of him. So this is something it's worthwhile looking at the Leelas and asking yourself, what's that got to do with my relationship with Guruji? And then one might begin to have insight, let's say. Yeah, so that's a good question, and it's a good question that benefits everybody. Because if you look at your Ishtadev and you learn the stories and the Leelas of the Ishtadev, then that whatever Leela was taking place in that life, and then you look at it in connection with Guruji, and what's that trying to show me about him, and what's it got to do with me and him? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Swami. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay.
I have a quick question that I have seen this way, but can we touch the feet of the Divine Mother as Ishtadev, or because so far I felt that we should not touch her feet? That question came in our Sangha.
Well, what do you mean? Like if you have a murti, or what do you mean?
Yes, a murti.
Well, it depends the circumstance. Like if you have a big murti here in the temple, normally the pujaris are only allowed to render direct service or touch the deities. We have the, how do you say, in front of the deities, you have all the other ones, you know, you have the padukas. The people can touch these. In non-COVID times, they can touch them, they can kiss them, whatever. In COVID times, no touching, no kissing. So, but yes, those feet are placed there to represent the feet of the deities. So it depends if you have padukas like this in your temple that represent the actual feet of the deities. Normally, many people can touch those, yeah, or bow down to them. This is what these padukas are actually for. So it depends what kind of setup you have in your temple or whatever. Yeah.
But is there a difference, for example, in the male and female deity of relationship of touching the feet?
No.
For example, in the Panduranga temple, are we allowed to touch the feet of Rukmini, for example?
There's no difference between touching her feet and his feet. Ultimately, they're one and the same. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed. It was nice being with all of you tonight. It was a nice Lakshmi Yagna here this weekend, and it was the first. I can't say it was an event. At the moment, we have the allowance that people can come and enjoy the prayers with us. So it's not the same as running an actual spiritual event. It's people are coming to enjoy the prayers with us. So this is the allowance that we have to be able to have people here. On Monday, tomorrow, a lot of the German hotels are opening because all the German people are fed up with COVID. Woohoo! And so it's going in the direction that Germany's opening up, but we still have areas that are high in infection. So I think kind of like state by state, area by area is going to open up according to how it is. And I'll be positive for having more festivals later on in the year here in SBN. So it's looking good. How quickly this will happen and unfold, we have to see. I think it's dependent on how many people can come from other countries that are risk areas. About the risk areas in Germany. If we open up very fast and more people get COVID, then they might lock down again. So I think it's quite variable, but we're quite hopeful that we'll be able to do more things here, especially over the summer months. Guruji's very happy. He's like, at last. He was getting very angry, but he's happy that we can open up and do stuff like this now. So because he's happy, I'm happy.
I hope it will open for Turkey, because since the first lockdown, Turkey was never allowed to go there. It's been more than a year.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen Guruji physically for 8 months or more. So yeah, I bet you're missing him a lot. Yeah. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
Bakalım.
So yeah, I wish you all very well, and hope Divine Mother's taking care of all of you. I know that she is, because we wouldn't be here otherwise.
Guruji.
And of course, Guruji, yeah. And hopefully, yeah, with Guruji's grace, with Ma's grace, you'll be able to come here later in the year. We keep our fingers crossed, we touch wood, as we say in England. And yeah, it'd be lovely to see you here for something like Guru Purnima, Navaratri, or yeah. So yeah, I hope to see you later in the year.
May I say something before you go, please?
Is it who is Pina? Pina?
Yeah, it's really short.
Yeah.
Okay. Like it's like why we have been made forgotten our divine nature in this you know, like dimension, like why we had to be, you know, like not all, but like forgotten the divine nature that we reminding and remembering.
It's part of the joy. It's hard to know what limitation is if there is no experience of it. It's if you don't experience limitation, you don't have a variety of relationship. Guruji said recently, he said, yeah, it's boring in Vaikuntha. What he was alluding to was like, there's so much variety of relationship, there's so much variation, there's so much sometimes challenge and intrigue, difficulty, struggle, happiness, sadness. It's an incredible process, actually. Beyond that, why do we have to forget our spiritual nature, our truly who we are? Ultimately, let's say it's the will of God. Ultimately, if he is everything, it's him wanting to experience limitation. And he wants to experience limitation so that he can experience himself in relation to something that's limited. He gets the opportunity to raise himself up for those souls that have fallen into this material universe and forgotten who they are. He's able to come to ultimately rescue himself and to raise himself from limitation. Because if it's everything's only and ever has been God, then God's forgetting who he is, and he's remembering himself ultimately. He's falling into forgetfulness, and he's returning to eternal remembrance. And he's experiencing himself through this whole process. And he's experiencing, like say, for each one of us, we're a tiny, tiny part of God. So in that aspect, it's a great joy, an incredible joy to remember who you truly are. And that's not, it's nothing that you can really compare to that. So it's a challenge. It's not something that the mind will understand, because the question is presented by the mind. The mind is saying, why do we have to forget ourselves and why do we have to remember? But the mind has no clue what it means to remember. The mind is limited. And the limited part of us is saying, why do we not know the fullness? Well, the fullness is only really understood, and it's not understood with the mind. You actually have to completely calm the mind into a state of silence and serenity. And then when the consciousness reveals itself, then the consciousness will have the ability to perceive the soul, the Atma. It's only through your consciousness. You can call it high consciousness, deeper consciousness, whatever. It's only through the consciousness, then will you have your answer. But the answer for the mind is not going to be sufficient because the mind is limited and the mind will not have a satisfactory answer. You really have to experience the divinity that's beyond the mind to have a full answer. It's like I was looking and searching for God, and when I experienced the love of Guruji, he's a Premavatar. When I experienced the love, my mind went completely silent. My heart knew that's what I was looking for. I found it. And the answer will not come to the mind, but the answer you will feel in your heart. Truly, what it means to forget and what it means to remember. Okay.
Swamiji, there is also someone also wants to tell something. I mean, if we have time, with translation.
Yeah. Okay. I got another 5 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Who is it?
Thank you, by the way. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev.
You're welcome, Jai Gurudev.
Nereden? Şeyi mi açayım?
Evet Gayecim, oradan konuş, ben de oradan çevireceğim.
Burayı diyorsun. Burayı diyorsun.
Öncelikle bu ilham verici satsang için çok teşekkür ederim.
First, I really want to thank you for this inspiring satsang.
Ben çok yeni bir devotiyim.
I'm very fresh devotee.
İşte devim Maha Lakshmi.
My Ishtadev is Maha Lakshmi.
Bu Türkiye'deki organizasyonda 3 gece ben de puja yaptım Maha Lakshmi'ye.
In this organization that we have held recently, that 3 days, I made everyday puja to Maha Lakshmi when we are closing the event.
Dün akşam rüyamda şöyle bir şey oldu.
Last night I dreamt.
Uzun bir süreden beri her gece yatarken uykuya dalasıya kadar hep Sudarshana Çakra mantrasını okuyorum. Çünkü hep işte hastalıklar ya da işte negatif bütün her şey için, herkes için bu şekilde uykuya dalıyordum.
Before I fall asleep, I recite Sudarshana Chakra mantra because of the illnesses, because of the all negative stuff.
Fakat dün akşam birden Maha Lakshmi'nin benimle konuştuğunu hissettim. Rüyamda tabii bu rüyada gerçekleşiyor.
And last night I felt that she's talking with me in the dream.
Sadece Om Namo Narayana'ya söyle dedi.
She said just chant Om Namo Narayana'ya.
Ve ben Om Namo Narayana'ya demeye başladım. Bu sırada hala uyanık mıydım, rüyada mıyım bilmiyorum yalnız.
And I start to chant Om Namo Narayana'ya and I'm not aware of if I am asleep or I am awake.
Birdenbire sonsuz renkte çiçekler kapladı her yeri.
And then all of a sudden there was flowers like in 1000 colors. And they were everywhere.
Çok güzel bir rüya. Ama ertesi gün sabah kalkıyorum ve tekrar böyle kendimi melankoli şeklinde hissediyorum. Bu normal bir şey mi?
And then I was awake in this morning, and I was again in this melancholic mood. And if it is something really normal, because that was amazing last night, and then I'm all of a sudden I awake this morning, and then I feel this melancholy.
Actually, years ago, I was praying to Maha Lakshmi, and I was praying to her, and from inside of me also came the same. You just start chanting Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, and she wants the people to chant this mantra because this is what connects you directly. You start vibrating directly with Narayan when you chant this mantra, and she wants you to attain him. So to attain what she wants to give you, it's very simple. She just give you this mantra, chant this. So it's a very, very highly likely that it was an accurate dream. What you're remembering was what was happening. Yeah, nice. Yeah, present from Ma. Yeah. Cool. Well, don't let it just be a weekend. Let it be a week, a month, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years. Keep going. A relationship with the Divine Mother. And also remember that whatever aspect it is, whichever Ishtadev that you have, look at that relationship and connect it with Guruji. And
The line is frozen. You're gone, Swami.
a good understanding of. Can you hear
For
me?
a while, you have gone. Your voice is gone for a minute.
So yeah, as I was saying, don't make it a weekend or a week or a month or 6 months. Keep going with your relationship with Ma, because she will always bring you higher and higher and higher. She will always want to take you home. So, and use that relationship, share her with other people, and help her to help other people too. So when you do your prayers, your pujas, also think of other people and help them to experience that love that the mother has to give to everybody, whoever it is. So yeah. So wish you all well. I do hope to see you here in Sri Pitanalaya this year. It would be lovely. So Ma, please bring them all to Sri Pitanalaya, everyone. May they manifest plane tickets and come with your grace. Everybody's
Visa,
like,
Visa, plane tickets, visa for Turkey.
Yeah. So yeah, I know that she loves everybody, one of you. So we look forward to seeing you. Yeah. Jai Gurudev.
So good. We have no words to say thank you to you, and I mean, just
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you.
Jai Gurudev, thank you so much.
And I'm sending for everybody the link for donations, and please don't forget that whatever you receive, it's very important to contribute back in a way that it's your way to show gratitude.
So it's lovely to be with all of you. I very much enjoyed sharing Ma with all of you, and yeah, it's lovely that she can connect with all of you. This is why she gives experiences, because the experiences that she gives is not just for you; it's also for others to connect with her through the person, whoever it is. So this is why she gives experiences that have meaning for each person. And that meaning has a certain value, and that value you can transport to others. They also feel that relationship. So this is why it's very beautiful, because that value can be passed on again and again and again. So sharing experiences with the divine, with Guruji, is very, very important. It helps many, many people.
Like we feel now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So Jai Gurudev, everybody. See you in a few months, I hope. Yeah, let's see.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Thanks. Is it okay to share the video, the record?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Prem se bolo Shri Lakshmi Narayana Bhagavan ki Jai. Prem se bolo Shri Babaji ki Jai. Prem se bolo Shri Ramanujacharya ki Jai. Prem se bolo Sadgurudev Shri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank
That
you.
was amazing. Thank you.
Lovely to
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Swamiji.
See you on Tuesday.
So much, Swamiji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you so much.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
Nice to see all of you.
Bye.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Good day.
Thank you so much.